What's up, YouTubers? It's your girl, Katrina Stone, here with Stone Independent Insurance Agency. I wanted to do this video to talk about 401ks and borrowing from your 401ks. Now, I hear this a lot of times. People, they come across some type of hardship and they're still working and they have to borrow from their 401k. Now, you may hear someone borrowing $30,000, $50,000 from their 401k, and it sounds great, but I'm not sure that a lot of people understand what they're actually doing. So a 401k is a type of investment, a type of retirement investment plan. So while you're able to work, you can either be matched by the money you put in your account from the job you work, or maybe you're just the only one that's putting in money into like this savings account, right? Which is called a 401k. Now, once money is accumulated, then people will normally, a lot of times, they will borrow from it. And it's sad because you can't put that money back in there. So once you take it out, you're going to be taxed because you're borrowing too early for that account. And now it's subtracted from your retirement money. So once you retire from working, what's left in there is going to get paid out monthly, or can be paid out monthly to you to assist you with your everyday bills, mortgage, if you're still paying on a mortgage, light bills, whatever bills you have lined up. But if you borrowed $50,000, $100,000 from out of there and you only have $30,000 to live off of, most people can't make it off $30,000 a year. Definitely take that into consideration. I always tell people I come across that the younger you are, the sooner you want to go ahead and get a life insurance policy, because you can receive a whole life policy, and with that whole life policy, it can accumulate a cash value that you can borrow from. So in addition to a 401k, you can have your whole life policy with that cash value that you could borrow from, and you won't have to worry about taking money from your 401k, which is normally used for retirement. Now, also, there's an IUL policy that you have, the Index Universal Life Insurance policy. Those policies are great to have, and a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of Black people don't have those policies. A lot of times people, I feel like it's the information. They don't have the information, so they don't know. So you can't do anything if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, right? Like, you can't expect to know what you need to know if you don't know it, right? But if you're hearing this for the first time, please take advantage of this information. Contact me and I can explain it into more detail, or let someone that's younger than you know about an IUL policy. It could definitely be researched, even if you don't contact me with my agency or my agency about the information. But anyone who is a financial advisor or life insurance agent, they can explain these types of terms to you and policies and help you plan for your future. Now, I wanted to do this video because just recently, a lot of people, we just got out of tax season, right? And then a lot of people borrow from their taxes, and I also know how to do taxes, so I help people with doing their taxes as well. And I noticed that a couple of my clients actually borrowed from their 401k last year, and so that got taxed. So that's part of the income tax. They had to bring that into that, or include that into their taxes. And it's sad because I explained to them that, you're borrowing from your 401k. What you're going to do when retirement time comes? What you're going to do if you're not able to work? Because a lot of time people will work and then people will retire and then they'll have to get a part-time job, because after you retire, in order to get your Social Security, you can only work a certain amount of hours a week. So you can't work over that. If you work over that, then you won't get your Social Security. So it's the way things are set up, or it's real tricky, but at the same time, if you take some time to get an understanding of how they all work and come together, then you can make everything work for you and you'll be fine, because you can plan ahead. But like I was saying, have you ever went to Walmart and you seen an older person standing at the door as a greeter, and you ever felt sorry for her, like, wow, why is she here? And you thinking, oh, grandma or granddad's probably just, getting some extra money. No, they probably working as many hours as they can legally work, to help pay their bills. They probably have to work. If you think about it, most people are not trying to work on a job, okay? Working on a job is stressful, right? It can get real stressful. So a lot of times when you see older individuals working hard like that at, say, like a fast food restaurant, it's because they didn't have their affairs in order. And unfortunately, they have to work. And a lot of times, it's a lot of older people that don't even have a 401k plan. All right, I've run across that too when I'm helping someone figure out their finances and their future. And it's sad to hear. And it's like, what can you do? They have limited income, no plan set up for the future, no 401k because they barely worked, can only receive Social Security, which is only $200 and something a month. It's a lot of people out here it's a lot of older people out here that's living off $15,000 a year. Can you imagine that? Calculate your bills up each and every month and think about that. Now, the only reason I brought this to you today is because I want you to be realistic about your retirement plan. What are you going to do when the time comes for you to retire? What money are you going to have in place, set up for you to receive each and every month so that you can pay your bills and live comfortably? That's something to think about. A lot of times people don't want to think ahead, but I'm the person, Katrina here, is the one that's going to make you think, right? Because it's better to think about your planning now versus later. Because once you get there, there's nothing you can do. You don't want to have to be 70 years old and work in a fast food restaurant. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that if that's what you love doing. But I know a lot of people wouldn't choose to do that. So if you have a 401k plan, make sure, if you can, see if your job can match the money that you put in so that you'll get double in your plan there. And if you can afford to, check into, get a IUL policy, and that way you can create that investment account that will protect you during your retirement years. So yeah, if you have any questions about any of these types of any of those types of policies or plans, or the 401k retirement, if you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to give me a call. Again, I'm with Stone Independent Insurance Agency. You can message me, StoneIndependentInsuranceAgency.com. Stone Independent Insurance Agency at yahoo.com is our email. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. You can check out our social media pages. Leave me a message in the comment section here and we can have a conversation. All right? Please protect yourself and make sure you don't leave a burden on your family members. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share this video. I know it's uncomfortable to think about, but think about it now. Why not? Peace.